I'm some little girl, I have to prove myself and I cannot leave this room until I've done that. Songwriters get no points, and if you put your foot down and ask for a point, you're being difficult.
Us as women, the moment we stand up for ourselves, we've got an attitude problem.
You wanna know what's worse? Record labels are taking 80 points for marketing.
They don't even have to do that much marketing because they're signing people that have built their own following on TikTok.
I'm going to war now with everyone.
Can the person that you're writing the song for have a say in changing that?
Do you want me to just break it down right now? Because the entire system is rigged.
This is the +44 podcast. I'm Zeze Millz.
Yeah, what's that about?
What was that all about?
I'm Sideman. Music,
culture,
UK. This is +44 from Wondery. Love Island.
It's come to an end.
Yes, it's over. I get my 9 o'clocks back.
Yeah, but it's not like you're doing anything, is it? What do you do at 9 o'clock now?
Breathe.
Oh, do you have like...
Breathe without having to think about Olivia. You know what I mean? And
oh my
it's
God.
nice.
So, oh my God, I haven't even seen you since I haven't seen you. Anyway, I haven't done hot topics. I did the Love Island podcast, right? And when you do it, they have like a couple, and the couple that I had was Olivia and Maxwell. So we have to go. You go and watch like the episode, and it with the before you go and talk about it. So you watch it all together. So I've walked in there now and managed to see Olivia. I've been talking mad crud about you.
It's crazy when you see somebody you've been talking. Not even what. Listen, whatever you've done online, me and you on the phone, we've ripped that girl to shreds.
No, but the thing is, it's a little bit different from when like I've spoken about rappers or stuff like that, because it's more like when I speak about rappers or give my opinion on that, it was like just one moment, if it makes sense. Whereas Olivia,
living on this girl's
it
name.
was literally like, I'd be like, Olivia, can you just go home, please? Like, I'd be tweeting this. And I walked in, I saw her, I was like, rah, this is interesting. But I told her, I said, like, the way they portrayed you was not great for you. I'm telling you, like, it was not good for you. I was like, some of the stuff that happened, it wasn't doing you any sort of favors. But it's so interesting because she's actually quite a cool person. I know people always, no. I know you don't want me to say it because I know you don't want her to be the cool person.
No, it's not that I don't want her to be the cool person. Everybody's cool when you meet them.
No, because
when they run a press tour.
No, because I've met people, you know me, I'm quite a good judge of character and I don't care. I could still see someone and be like, I don't take to you, there's something about you I don't take. But she genuinely was like, cool people's, innit? She was cool. Although I didn't necessarily like her on the show, I think we have to remember that it's entertainment, if that makes sense. And I think once they come off the show, all your judgment should just be left once they come off the show.
I'm done now.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
This is the thing about Olivia. Everything that you wouldn't like about Olivia, you'd only ever see on television because she's that sneaky. You have to get all the angles and see what's being said in private conversation. She's one of those people where you won't be able to put your finger on it. The only time in real life you will have an issue with Olivia is when you hear back from somebody else that she was chatting you.
Right.
She's one of them people.
Right.
Now, Kai and Sanam won. Love it. And I love it because it's tied to Olivia. Because here's the thing about Olivia. Olivia now has to chase clout via Kai. Yes, her clout is connected to Kai. She is the girl that dogged on him and he won. That's her story. That's not Kai's story. Kai's story is just that he won, because Kai will find it very easy to ignore her now because he ignored her while she was literally right in front of him.
Right. Do you think Kai and Sanam are going to last?
I don't think any of them are going to last.
Neither do I. And I said that on the pod and she was sitting right there. I said, to be honest with you, I don't think any of these couples are going to last. No one is lasting. And
I'm saying that from a financial perspective.
I know you're going to say because there's nothing.
There's no money and then you need money. In my opinion, for relationships to work with people that come from different cities, there needs to be more of a reason to move than just... Listen, it's 2023, but if you're out here moving for love because you went on Love Island for a couple of weeks, you're an idiot. Previous couples made sense because, all right, if I live in Manchester and you live in wherever, Timbuktu, Manchester's an entertainment hub. It's got Boohoo Man, it's got Pretty Little Thing, Ray-ta-ta. If I live in London and the finalists, always one of them lives in Manchester or one of them lives in London, typically, right? So the other person will move because of work and love, so that even if the love don't work out, they still have to stay in the city anyway because of the work. These lot, because Love Island decided to not make their social media posts and they've got lower followers now, aren't going to get as much work. All these people are going back to their jobs.
Do you know who got really low?
Who?
Tanya and Shaq. They only got 2% of the public
2%
vote.
fat, right? Red top milk of votes.
Which is like 20,000 people basically voted for them.
In comparison to the others who all had over 100,000 votes.
I mean, are we surprised? We only make up 3%.
No, it's not because of that. Black people, can we have a town hall meeting and decide when we're going to put black on stuff? Because we keep pulling the black stuff for everything. We should not have made Shaq and Tanya a black thing. Let's pick
They
our
are
fights.
black and they're couples, so we will ride for them. I'm riding for anyone black. If you're on a show that is predominantly white, I am riding for the black person.
If I am watching Love Island, right? This is how I ride for black people. If I see a black person doing good, they're doing great. If I see a black person doing great, they're doing phenomenally. If I see a black person doing bad, they're just doing bad. Like, my rating for you starts
That's our
at
problem.
good.
That's our problem.
No, because if something is bad, I will not reward negative behavior.
That's what the others
just
do.
because it's my people.
That's what the others do.
I actually don't think they do.
They do.
Other communities.
Whatever you're going to say, the reason why they don't have to is because there's another 5 other white couples in there. So even if you don't rate one white couple, there's another 7 for you to rate.
Yeah.
We don't have that luxury. The way you going about Shaq and Tanya, you make them seem like they were so bad. They're not that bad. They weren't bad.
As Love Island couples go, they were one of the worst.
No, they were not. They gave us good entertainment. If it wasn't for Shaq and Tanya, it would have been boring. Same with Olivia, it would have been boring.
See, Olivia,
and at the end of the day...
Olivia, I accept that Olivia was worth the pain. I wanted Shaq and Tanya off of my screen.
I feel like you're just a hater because you've never experienced that type of love before. I don't think anyone has ever been besotted with you. I don't think anyone has ever made you feel like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever in life. And I feel like you're just hating on Shaq and Tanya. And I'm going to say it, I put it out there. And I hope when Shaq sees you, he headbutts you.
If Shaq sees me, I'll headbutt myself first.
I know, I'd say that.
I don't want to be awake. I don't want to see him.
I'm glad. I hope Tanya takes off and then dashes you across the thing at you.
But yeah, they don't represent black love. They represent black nonsense.
No, I love them. I love them. Anyway.
Love them?
I loved. Shaq, bring up you, Shaq, showing a nice vulnerable side to black men. And Tanya, city girl all the way, and she held it down. Not that I rate city girls, but she showed that, listen, anything you lot can do, we can do, and I'm going to do it 10 times better.
Now, do you think that Fredo was with this girl? Let's just give some context. There is a lady in America that has been claiming for about 2 years now that Fredo DM'd her and was interested in her. The reason why this has caught flame on social media is because she is more voluptuous than one would expect Fredo's type to be, based on other people he's been linked to in the past. I don't
think that's because she's voluptuous. I just don't think people necessarily deem her as attractive. I don't actually think the weight has anything to do with it.
I think you're violently incorrect if you check the comment sections.
No, but it's because of the way she looks. It's not,
if she was beautiful,
yes, because we've got
people,
yes,
and still the same weight.
Yeah, I don't think it would be an issue because we've got women like Lizzo.
And do you think if Fredo was with Lizzo, he wouldn't get this kind of social media attention?
No, of course not. Because Lizzo is carries herself well. She's a beautiful woman. She's successful. There's loads of other reasons as to why.
I think you're incorrect.
I can tell you for a fact, if that girl was what people deem as good looking, I'm not saying whether she's good looking or not, there wouldn't be an issue. The idea that just because someone's big, that makes them unattractive is wrong.
I never said that.
Right. No, but that's what you're saying, people in the comments. Like,
yes.
You're saying if she was good looking,
yes,
regardless of her size, it still would be,
yes, there
would be an issue.
Yes.
So basically you're saying the size is the reason why and I'm saying no, it's not the size, it's because of how she presents. Number one, I think she's the OnlyFans girl anyway. So, guys, especially black men, they're always, I don't do them things there, like, I don't need to pay for nothing.
Well, when Fredo addressed it, he quite metaphorically addressed her weight.
Yes, because of her whole package. You can be big boned and buff. There's big bone girls that are getting hella man. I mean, like, more man than the slimmer women.
I ain't saying it ain't happening, but
so I'm saying it's not to do with, it's the way how she presents herself.
I disagree. I can't remember the last time a rapper was linked to a girl of her proportion. Even if the girl is pretty, I haven't seen that. Anyway, Fredo addressed it and he used a metaphor. He said that he doesn't even have a license for lorries. He likes foreigns,
right?
Which we understand what he's doing with that metaphor. He's, he's making reference to the girl's weight. I think that he shouldn't have addressed it at all. Anything you address, you put flame to. But if you're gonna address it, at least he didn't say any of the trigger words. You know what I mean? That would probably get him in trouble.
I'm pretty sure this girl came out of it
and
a couple of years ago, and she came with the DMs.
And now everybody's saying the DMs are fake, but the DMs look fake because they look like how Instagram used to look.
I don't think he's never going to admit it, is he? He's never going to admit
clearly
it.
Not. Also,
Even
it just really doesn't matter.
Well, this is my whole point.
He's past that being any issue to his career.
Any of these things that happen in our world are never big enough to cancel anyone's career. Yeah. That's what I was saying to you earlier. It's like, it's never a thing.
Now the Oscars was on. The UK's very own Amelia was there. She was there. And now there is a Twitter conversation about how is Amelia there and saying she got big off chicken shop date. My question to Twitter, because I won't be looking for the response, by the way, because Twitter is too toxic and I want to love myself after the end of the day, right? My question to you guys would be, why do you build people up to tear them down, right? We built up Amelia Dims, right? It took Andrew Schultz, American comedian, and you said it back in the day as well, of why are we allowing our people to go into a chicken shop and be fed chicken by a white woman and asked questions and bypassing interviewers of our own race. That's not me saying I have a problem with it. I'm just saying that's what they're all saying now. How can you say that now as the people that put her up there? Now to me, you're just hating on the girl because you built her up. You brought her to that stature and that place. Which community do you think made Amelia who she is now? It is us. I don't blame Amelia because I've noticed that there's a lot more white people in chicken shop dates now. I don't blame Amelia because guess which community that built her up is having a problem with her giving chicken to black people? The black people. So all right, you give me this fame. Now you lot are trying to do all this toxic stuff. I'm never going to reply. I'm just going to phase out. You can't say I'm bringing black. So now the person we gave a platform, we can't even benefit from the platform because we've made the platform that we made toxic. I'm going to translate that side, and that means that Zeze told you that before. You dragged her all across the internet.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do disclaimer because I actually really like Amelia. And I've seen her. Above what everyone else thinks about us two when we see each other out, it's always a lot of love between me and her. And even from when that whole thing happened, Amelia understood what I was saying. She actually came in the comments when that whole thing happened. She understood what I was trying to say. And it was always never, it shouldn't be, you should never go on her show. It was like, why does it have to be one or the other?
Yeah.
Why can't you go on her show and then go on someone in our world, in our, like, do you know what I mean? On their show and help build up their platform as well. That was always my thing. It was never, it should be either or.
And now we're finding...
1 second, go to LA, go to the Oscars. Good for her. Like, do you know what I mean? She's built her platform. Good for her. I'm not annoyed at her. I'm annoyed at people now trying to drag her when you've given her those views. So don't try and take it away from her now. Don't be weird. And this is the thing. When I sat down with RD and I had a conversation with RD and everyone they did the same thing with RD, right? They built RD up, right? And then they got upset when RD got invited to the Jingle Bell Ball, but Russ and Tion didn't. And it was like, why they want to take our culture but not let us in. It's like, are you not dumb? And I've said this online, like we do this all the time. Build it up. We get gassed, we enjoy them, we like it because they are probably opening our culture to a wider audience because of their colour of their skin, let's be honest. And that's basically really, like, don't get me wrong, I think I like RD and everyone knows that. But let's call a spade a spade. And now you're angry at him. Now RD can't even put something out with people getting angry at him. And then, do you know what's going to happen? We're going to do it again. So what is the point? Just let them live. Let Amelia live. Let RD live. And you're going to do the same thing again. And then you're going to be fake outraged. And you're not really outraged. You just are excited.
They're mentioning something she did that you let her do that put her where she is now, where she's not doing it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
And it's just like, now you're angry at her.
Is she at the Oscars giving chicken to black people? No. So why are you bringing that up now when that whole time she was right over here doing that?
I would love for people to stop atting me. You lot dragged me 4-5 years ago when I made this point, and then George Floyd happened and all of you lot started talking about gatekeeping, and I've been talking about gatekeeping from however long, and I was called a bitter black woman. And that's why now I just keep my mouth shut. And even now, this is going to come out and they're going to call me a bitter black woman and they're going to say all of these things. But I'm saying, Amelia, do the damn thing, babes. And anyone else actually that our community has decided to build up, and now all of a sudden it's like, bye, we don't like you. Do the damn thing. Why the heck not?
Up next is our interview with Ray, filmed on location at Amazon Music's plush new studio. So don't be alarmed when you see the set change. We had to switch locations. Make some noise for Ray! Woo! I love you, Ray. I always have positive energy, just a lovely person and stuff like that. I've always...
Thank you.
I watch from a distance and I just seen everything that you've done and I think it's amazing.
You're busy at the moment, very busy. How's it been? Is it overwhelming? Is it like you've been waiting for this kind of moment, but now you're in it, it's like, oh my God.
I think it's around them lines, but there's so much amazing positive stuff happening, and it is exactly that, we met a long time ago, 10 years since I put my first song out. You do have to just keep powering with a lot of energy towards your dreams, and then, I've put this album out, the reaction's been so nuts. And now I'm about to be doing 100 and something shows this year. Like, I have to find a whole new stamina. Yeah. I have to be disciplined. I have to sleep lots. It's amazing. So much great things.
How do you prepare for that? People go ham when they go in tour mode. They start shredding and all these things. Is that what you have to do?
To be honest, it's getting to the point where I need to start. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because I love food and I love doing what I want to do. I'm a proper creative, do you know what I mean? Now I got to start training. Now I got to be eating less cheese and stuff. I love cheese.
Now this is all cute and beautiful, right? But do you just feel like I told you so? Do you know that? I've watched I Told You So's in the industry. This is one of the biggest I Told You So's I've ever seen in life. And I know you gotta be humble. But when you come out to the camera, you get be like, I'm so happy, guys, that everything's not working out, but I'll be out here saying, what did I tell you? Album on the shelf for 45 years. For what? I told you so. So tell the truth, do you feel that I told you so?
No, it does feel, look. Do you know, it's nice to just feel like you're not crazy. It's nice to feel validated.
Yeah.
When people keep telling you no and no, you actually do start to believe it. You start thinking,
it does affect you.
What's wrong with
100%.
me? Do I need to do this? Do I need to change?
Yeah.
So when you actually stay true to yourself, I knew I should have stayed true to myself.
Let's be fair and give the people some context. You put out a video basically saying that you wanted off your label because you just felt like creatively you weren't free to do what you wanted. What was your feelings like at the point when you were saying that? Because you were very, you could see the passion.
To do something like that, you have to be willing to accept the worst case scenario. Because you got my life in a contract, do you know what I mean? I just got to a point where I was just like,
if it all falls down,
even if that happens, I would rather at least say it. For me, music isn't a joke to me. It's not a business to me. This is so personal. I had one dream from 8 years old. This is entirely serious.
Yeah.
You got my life in your hand, and I'm out here being this artist that I'm embarrassed to be at the worst of times. That's a damn shame. That's really sad. And, it was never about money. It was never about being the biggest artist I can be. It's about, I want to be an artist who says things, is inspiring to myself, things where I'm making music that I close my eyes and it sets my heart alight. You get it? That's what music is in the essence of it, period. So just to hit that point, 7 years is a long time.
What was the transition from going to being an independent artist? What was that like? Going from something where you have a machine behind you then to just being okay, I'm going to do this on my own.
Well, the most beautiful thing is realizing, for me anyway, that I didn't have to ask permission anymore. That's so beautiful. I genuinely am in control of my career. And that even took some serious adjusting to in a most beautiful way. You really have to back yourself financially and you have to go and every detail matters. But the positives for me well outweigh the cons. And I just feel like we're in a new time. Back in the day, you used to smack a bag of money down on the table. Used to be play my artist. And people, the public, are force-fed and you choose whatever from a selection of songs. And it was all gatekept, We're in different times now. The people choose what they want to listen to. You can't force-feed people music they don't like. But it also is an exciting place for artists who, I was told for the longest time, you can't have success with this kind of music, you need to make this kind of music, That's all changed now.
Yeah,
now it's just about good music and that's exciting.
From the day you said, I don't want to be on this no more, and then you was free, I've been watching, because the machine does have a purpose for a lot of people, because it provides structure, it provides all the little things that you see, and I have to credit you with making it look like the machine was still there.
Wow. We went hard.
Like the machine is there. Like everything is on point. I'm not talking about now from the music point of view. I'm talking about the marketing and the business of it. Nothing looks like it's just, hi, I'm just Ray, I'm just doing my thing. Like, do you know what I mean? It never come across like that.
That's beautiful to hear.
I think one of the first tracks I heard, I know Ross was on the song, I believe, but he said something like,
money calling.
Life feels good when you're making millions. And I was like, yes, Ray, let them know.
How's it?
I have to go more the basket. Like, that's something. He was making millions, got a 1D, so I had to get rid of it. I was like, yes. But separately, I think that you will be an encouragement to so many women.
Oh.
Not just because I know a lot of singers that have been signed to labels and did quit. They grew up with a passion to make music. They got signed to a label, and just because of a label, they quit music and said, I don't want to be in the music business anymore. So watching you take control of your career like that and then be successful, I think it will be an inspiration to a lot. Did you even, was that a thought process? Did you think about that?
I didn't think anything through, I'm going to be honest, at the beginning. That was just reckless, impulsive movements. Yeah. You know, going on like in that journey, becoming independent and figuring out, what do I do now? You know, I did have a lot of freak out moments and a lot of things you have to lose and let go of. Like, there's a lot of lies.
Yeah.
And it's very manipulative, you know, a lot of things that I just had to shake off. Yeah. And, you know, I ultimately had to come to a place where what matters to me is releasing music I love at the core, and it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of it. At the end of the day, being a musician is tough anyway, because in a respect, you're putting out something to be judged.
Right, yeah.
Being judged is always a difficult and intimidating thing for any human, but as a musician, you have to be at peace with the fact some people will hate what you do, some people will like it, some people will love it. But my purpose was, I have to love it, otherwise what's the point? And I started releasing these songs with no intention of being these big chart things at all.
How did it feel how did it feel then when you went to number one?
Stupid.
Where was you? When do you actually find out that you go to number one? Were you allowed to say that?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. On the day.
But you find out a little bit before everyone else finds out, obviously, yeah. What was that feeling like?
I'm not gonna lie, that day I cried all day, and this is exactly it, where you can't listen to anyone else's opinions because people will draw you ceilings. I heard so much nasty, negative words from people in this industry, even people on my distant team. Gosh, the things people will say to you, and no one will tell it real to your face when you're an artist, you know? No one. Obviously, other than your close people, which is why you need them. But that was just a real moment. You're gonna eat your words today. For this day.
Oh, I love that. You know?
I know.
For this day.
So nice.
There's a level where you can make somebody eat your words, where you can be humble. They've ate their words to that level. You don't even need to be too braggy about it. Because
it's just
you saw the number one. We don't really need
everywhere.
We don't really need to go back and forth about it. And the thing about it is that if you sent me Escapism and then you said, do you think that this would become number one? I would say no, because it's not following the route.
Yeah.
And that's why I think more than ever before, artists need to be free to create. I always say, what possessed Roddy Ricch to go into the studio and say, do you understand what I'm saying?
It's the feeling though, isn't it?
You cannot create rules anymore.
But that's what we had J5 on.
I love that song.
We had J5 on a couple of weeks ago. We were saying, as a producer, how do you feel about music right now? Because everything, it's basically anyone can do anything and it's going to hit. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't. Yeah. And he was saying he loves it because as a producer, he has all that, he can be so creative.
Yes.
And he loves that everyone just, doesn't matter. You don't have to do, because at one point, if he wasn't doing drill, forget it. If he wasn't doing, you could, and he was even saying for him as a producer, he was like, whoa, what am I? What's gonna happen?
J5 thought he was gonna have to put on a mask.
No. But the irony is, every single creative I knew and come into contact with was just as sick as each other about having to stay in their own lanes or whatever that even means.
Yeah. Even though I said I would have said, nah, it's not gonna, because it's not following the regular routes. As soon as I listened to it and seen how big it was, I was like, I know why. This is real. You can't get more raw. You didn't go into making that song and saying, I'm gonna come across the best. I'm going to deliver to you. This is not the music video where the camera angle is from low and looking up at you high.
Yeah, looking pretty.
In slow motion and stuff like that. This is, I'm feeling feelings right now. And I think that resonated with people on a different level. Yeah. I love to see real music actually break through and push through that barrier and just like
You were saying that this has been your dream since you was 8. So you went to the Brit school, right?
Yeah, I did.
I went to theatre school, and I always say
How did you find it?
I went to Sylvia Young.
Okay.
So I went there full time from like the age of 11 till like 16. So that environment, I've always kind of been in this world. So like myself, before I was doing this, I wanted to do acting, and it was just dreadful. Like you just get knocked down all the time. And then I got to like 25 and I was like, I can't do this anymore. My self-esteem is on the floor.
Right.
Like I'm literally like...
acting's the roughest of all.
It was horrible, but I really enjoyed it. I loved that environment. Being around other creatives, I'm so thankful to my mum that I did all of that.
Yes.
How did you enjoy being in that environment?
No, I think there was times I loved it, and then times I think I was really annoying as a teenager. I got a big dream, a very big personality. I was very bubbly and loud. Even like really focused in class, so music class, like
right.
listen to the teacher. In maths, I'm getting sent out. I heard someone said the other day where someone was like, yeah, Ray was really so rude in class or something. Like it got to someone else and I was like, was I? Like I forgot. Like,
was that me? Am I the drama?
I'm the drama.
Maybe I'm the drama.
And I guess you need that. It kind of prepares you in its own way. Great things and tough things, just life, right?
You've made songs for people like Beyonce and other people, but I said Beyonce, so I don't need to say the other people. Clearly, it's big people. That's right. It's Beyonce. You can understand the caliber.
The levels that we're
Is there pressure when you know you have to create, depending on who you have to create a song for?
I thrive under pressure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thrive under it. I think it comes from a sense and a stem of being a young woman in this industry. Like I started writing professionally at 14. And at the time, like the main songwriters all like middle-aged white guys. So it was just like, I'm some little girl, I have to prove myself and I cannot leave this room until I've done that. It's still the case today. I think when I go into a new session with a new artist, I'm like, I have to leave this room and I want them to want to work with me again, speak highly of me, love what we created, tunnel vision, that is the goal until we leave.
Have you ever written a song with someone and be like, wish I could just keep this for myself, damn?
It's a good question. I think I make a point now with the artists that I'm working with. I want to create their story. Like, I don't want to tell mine.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm there to like create stuff with you, like I've been writing a lot with Hallie at the moment, I'm so excited by her. She's so sick. But we got to know each other on a level and there's trust there. And then as much as I love those songs, they're not my story, you know? You've
spoken about the publishing side of things and how it can be difficult in terms of payment and stuff like that. Do you find it any easier?
I'm raving. You know, I'm going to be a broken record on this subject until it changes. Yes. I will be so annoying because no one understands or knows what's going on. If you want to get me started on this subject, I actually will. Look, okay, let me put it like this, yeah? For every song that is released out in the world, there is 100 royalty points on a record, right? It's how a song is monetized. It is how radio will pay the writers, creatives, and the labels. It's how a song has its worth. And the wildest thing to me is with 100 points, 100 royalty points, a songwriter who has contributed to a record, written a record, even crafted the record entirely, is entitled to, ask me how many points.
How many points?
Ask me, guess.
I think it's like 3 points.
Okay.
I wouldn't have said free. Free would be like maybe like 10, 20.
Zero.
Why?
It's just not custom.
What?
It is.
So what, they just pay you up front?
No. Oh, absolutely not. No. Producers get paid up front and producers get 4 points, which is nothing anyway.
Right.
Songwriters get no points. And if you put your foot down and ask for a point, you're being difficult. We don't do points for writers. La 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 la. Songwriting is split into 2 things. You have royalty points, which is the master royalty. And then you have publishing. Such a joke now, less than it's ever been, because publishing is PRS. So it's like every time a song gets played on the radio, you'll get 0.01p or something, depending on how much you've written. And publishing is even a joke because songwriters, imagine this, okay? You wake up to go to the studio. You have to pay for your own car there. You have to buy your own food there. You have to get there. You have to sit in a room with said artist and you've got to write something good enough that the artist wants to use it. Hurdle 1. Even achieving that is like, you know, depending on your skills and how long you've worked, that's a hurdle. The second hurdle is the artist putting it out as a single album tracks. Publishing, you will literally see about £1,000. And we will have to wait about 2 years for that money. Hurdle 2, so you got to hope that the artist releases it as a single. Hurdle 3, you got to hope that song does something. Because if it doesn't, you're making nothing anyway.
Yeah.
This is where it gets really mad and deep, is songwriters will be out here pouring their hearts. A lot of songwriters are artists who didn't cut through, or maybe they're just scared of the limelight, but their heart and their whole soul and passion is music, and they'll pour so much love into these songs. And the reason I'm so passionate about this, I've seen it firsthand. Like, I've spent so much time with so many incredible songwriters with top 10 freaking Billboard hits, and they can't pay rent.
That's
what?
mad.
And it's evil. And you want to know what's worse? Record labels are taking 80 points for marketing a song on an industry based and funded by
And then
songs.
half of these times, they don't even have to do that much marketing because they're signing people that have built their own following on TikTok. So they're not, so it doesn't even, they're not really doing anything because they don't even want to sign people that don't even have big followings anymore.
Dark. It is so dark.
So mad.
Yeah, so I'm going to war now with everyone. And this is about setting a precedent. I actually was on the phone to like a head of a label the other day who wanted a song of mine. And I was like, yeah, I want 3 points. And it was such a deep conversation. And I went so in. He was like, everyone in the legal team, everyone I've talked to is outraged that you've asked for this, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, do you want me to just break it down right now? Because the entire system is rigged.
I love this conversation. We're going to talk about the album in a second. But do you ever get worried about being labelled like that angry woman, the angry black woman that's like, you've got a chip on your shoulder? Because I know, like, for us, when we speak up, it's always, you got a chip on your shoulders. I see how passionate you are about it. And I know also how easy it is for us as women. The moment we stand up for ourselves, we've got an attitude problem. There's something wrong with us. So what's made you be like this brave to speak out on so many things?
You know what? And I'll be honest, I think it's just seeing other side of the coin firsthand for so many years. These corporations and gatekeepers and big industry people have systems in place to manipulate creatives against each other. You've got songwriters out here fighting each other for scraps of publishing, which publishers put in a bank account for 2 years to collect interest, and then they drip feed you pennies. Like, it's so wrong. I know people are gonna think whatever they're gonna think about me, but I would just wanna be some part in being loud. This is nothing's gonna change unless it takes people to shout and be loud about it, because nobody understands.
I heard her say they can say what they want, I'm number one. I don't know if you heard that, but I heard her say that. How are you fighting against that? Because I'm assuming at your level and with your voice and standing, you can avoid that and get those points. But it sounds like you're still even having to have these debates.
Labels have like rigid walls.
Standard.
Yeah, rigid walls where they're like, we don't do this. And I'm like, well, then don't take the song. I'm just in a point where it's like, we have to put our foot down. And obviously I'm in a place where I can do that.
Noise and be heard.
But that I can put my foot down and, you know, I can still pay the rent. Like, this is the thing of, well, if you don't agree, then we'll not get the cut and then you won't get the song really. Do you know what I mean? There's kind of, so then you're like, okay, fine, that's fine. You are allowed to block a song, but they just make you feel like you can't. Or you'll be blacklisted if you do.
Can the person that you're writing the song for have a say in changing that?
Artists are getting scraps anyway.
Well,
No, but I mean, depending on how big the art, for instance, let's say you write a song.
It's gonna take someone like
Beyonce.
or a Taylor or someone huge to even share this story so people even understand. Or just realize there's such a huge community of songwriters who are really brokenhearted right now. Producers get 10, 20K, 50K if you're established. What does a songwriter get? Nothing.
And they made it happen.
It's just,
And this is like the most important part.
you're valuing, and no disrespect to production, because production is essential and so important. The thing that people are singing
more than
and screaming at the concert and relating to and connected to less than the snare drums and the beats and the chords behind it. No.
So what happens if you're the artist on your own song?
No. So you don't get points for being a songwriter. You just don't. If you're the artist, you'll get artist royalties. So within that 100%, they'll give you like 10 to 12 is kind of like the average. You wouldn't get an extra point for being a writer. Yeah, but the point is, and this is what needs to change, labels need to give songwriters points.
Right.
Especially with streaming coming in now. It's so important. Streaming, royalties are getting divided in the master royalty points from streaming, but it's not songwriters aren't seeing that.
Seeing nothing.
Yeah, anyway, that's my mission. So
that's very interesting to me.
All the stuff that you're saying, I think a lot of people are not aware of it. Yeah. And like you're saying, the more people talk about it, the more people are going to be aware. And understand of what's happening, actually understand how dire it is. Talk about the new album now.
Sorry, yeah.
No, sorry. I just want to make sure we talk about the album.
Yeah.
We got to talk about the album. Yeah. So the album, My 21st Century Blues.
Yes.
I like that name.
Thank you.
I like that. Do you know, I was saying the other day about R&B music, I don't think there's enough depression. There's not enough sadness anymore. Remember R&B music back in the day? It was really, sad, but the girls were in love. And we was like, please.
I saw that.
The girls were like, please. And I was just like, yeah, that's why we used to be like...
The man was like, please as well.
In the rain, and then like... Yeah, they're so like baby face.
Man don't know how to get their girl back no more.
I know, we don't. They don't. I know.
You're not even outside their house with the radio. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, not even singing One Wish.
All of us are like, we're all tired of it. We're all tired of it. But yeah, talk to us about it, why you named it that. What's it? Tell the people.
It's a mix of... I think different genres and sounds. It's a lot of different stories. Some are R&B, some are more pop, some are like kind of ballady. The through line is it's very, very honest. It's very blunt.
Thematically, it's very vulnerable.
Yeah, very vulnerable.
I feel like you'll listen to this and be like, yeah, I know a lot of things about her. I don't know, the irony is I'll feel uncomfortable talking about most of these subjects with anyone. I think it's such a sensitive time now for just like speech in general. Like if you say anything in an interview or you say anything somewhere and it gets taken and people decide whether they like what you said or don't like it or feel some kind of way, you know, imagine being vulnerable and open about certain things given the times. People will just drag something, do you know what I'm saying? Like inside of a song, it's a safe place to exist in there. You can have an opinion on the music, you know, you can't be like, I can't believe she said that, or like, what about or this or that? You know what I mean? It's just a safe, I don't know.
Was there any fear in being so vulnerable?
There's days where I'm like, yeah, I'm so glad I did that. And then, the days I'm like singing it on stage, like, why did I freaking go into this much detail?
Literally about to say that because...
Go on tour and just relive this pain.
Yeah, I was going to say that because when it must be so interesting because you write the song, you record it, then it sits there for a while before everyone else gets to hear it. So where you was at that time is not where you are like now. Do you get what I mean? And then you have to go back and perform those songs. And I always think that must be so weird. Like when you're talking about the love of your life or someone and you're not over that person now, then you sing it, you must think, that's so annoying that I wrote this about you, dumbass.
It definitely is that energy sometimes, isn't it? Yeah. You know, I guess it's just real-time therapy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the songs on the album, Body Dysmorphia, you talk about how you've viewed your body over the years. I talk about this a lot on social media. What do you think about the current climate of like the pressure on like women's bodies and all of these things? Like, I'm a slim gal and I've always been slim, and then at one point I put on some weight and then I lost the weight. The way people just felt that they could just, oh, you've lost so much weight. What, are you okay? And I'm like, I put a video up and I was just like, can we stop asking? Like, I'm fine, I'm not. Like people, people in my comments, oh, she's definitely on the drugs, on the hard drugs.
Oh,
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
what? Like this is
too
crazy.
Much. It's a wild, wild time to be a young child, I think, in this day and age. Because I think it was a different thing for our parents and that, who you'll see a magazine or you'll see a movie and you're like, wow, like, but now we're all contributors to this social media thing and we all have to maintain the standard. I have Facetune, yes, like we all have Facetune and we'll all be like, like, why am I doing that?
Yeah.
Because I feel there's a standard I'm not meeting, which is a damn shame.
Yeah.
And then you have to zoom out and think, I'm a musician, like I at least get to feel empowered in moments. I get to be on a stage, like, or have glam. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm feeling these insecurities and these things like, like some of the things I read about myself, I'm like, oh my gosh.
I was gonna talk to you about that. Because I wanted to know what your relationship is with social media. You're getting a lot of love right now, but I remember times in past people have hated on you. I've been watching from afar. Like when that happens to you, because I've experienced that, the love and hate of social media, it makes me not buy the love that much.
I was chatting to an artist about this. Do you know RAYE?
Yeah.
She's so lit. Like we've been doing some work recently, and I was like to her, like, how do you just not care what anyone thinks? Like she was like, the other day I was at a gig. And like this young kid come up to me, this like 12-year-old kid. I don't know what she was saying, but basically this kid was saying something rude to her, innit? Like, I just clocked it, like, most of the people who are chatting like this are just young children.
Yeah. I think that sometimes when I see comments and I go to respond, I'm like, they're probably like 15. Like, I'm a big woman for you. Like,
some of these men are grown. Like some of the, because like I feel like that's what social media people do to comfort themselves. We diss them. Like sometimes you say, like you either think, they might not have a job or
No.
Nah, some of these people, they've got a job, they're steady, life is okay. They just want to rag on you.
You gotta keep it separate. I got 2 phones now. Miss me with that.
idea.
Yeah, some days you need to just. No, but some days you need to just give it to someone else. Just take this from me.
Yeah, they never hate you as much as you think, and they never love you as much as you think.
Right.
Like I think there was a time and a period where love is what got the stars' attention, and one day someone hated, and they got a reply, and I was like, oh snap, let's hate instead.
Wow.
So half the stuff that they say to you is because, number one, you're not gonna get the most liked comment or the pinned comment for saying something in the middle. Right. Do you know what I mean?
But also,
you have to say something drastic.
But also, sometimes they don't think. My friend worked with this lady, and she admitted that she had a burner account. And that she would like troll basically, and she had a good job. She's like cool girl, and my friend was like, how did this start? And she was like, and why do you do it? And she was like, she said that she doesn't see them as real people.
Yes, wow.
She wouldn't see you as a real person because in her eyes, you've got all this success. You look like you're living a lit life. You've got everything that you want. You're so far removed from her reality that she doesn't even see you as real.
But I think that's
so
both
it's
ways.
like we don't see them as real.
No, of course not. Listen, if you start to get enough comments, and I know you must know this, if you read 100 or 200 people say they love you, that's dots on the page at that point. Come on.
Maybe there are 200 people that love me.
No, of course they do.
Let them know.
But
Remind them.
Of course they do, but the point that I'm making is that it just starts to all blur into one.
I get what you mean.
You get what I'm saying? I don't think we
but
think
also negative comments are 1,000 times louder than any positive one, and that's a damn
100%.
shame.
Yeah.
The stuff
I love this.
That's why I'm off Twitter, you know.
No, but I really love your saying. That's a damn shame. I really like it. It's so like.
It's so polite.
Yeah, it's a damn shame. That is a damn shame. You hear me using it now, you know I'm big on it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can have it. You can have it.
It's a damn shame. Ray gave it to me.
Do you feel like you did it?
No, but I think I'm now beginning my
You're doing it now.
artist experience. I'm beginning my journey now.
I feel that, I do agree with that, but I feel like you did it. Everybody has their journey and stuff like that. But the reason why I say that is because I feel like we are in an age now where a personal appreciation for accomplishments is so difficult because people don't let you have your moment. And you look back over your career because other people probably will look at people that have success and not see them as normal, but you know where you came from. We all know ourselves. There's things you've done which are unbelievable. You just don't get to appreciate that no more because it's either comparison being the thief of joy or it just gets brushed over because the news cycle of everything is so
it's so quick and fast.
Yeah.
But you know, in a way...
I wrote a song for Beyonce talking about I ain't done it.
No.
The point
also,
I'm making
imposter
is
syndrome as well.
You grew up watching Beyonce on television.
But that's exactly what imposter syndrome is that thing of like, I grew up watching you, how dare I be your inner? Is like, how dare I be in this room with you?
That happened to me one time, you know. I'm at this premiere and I've just walked up and Will Smith just walked past me. And I was like, that's not supposed to happen.
You can't compare her in the room with Beyonce to Will Smith because he just brushed past you.
Yeah, I didn't know
Can't leave him.
I didn't know when you had to do that. I thought he was having a tiny part today.
Do you know what though? This is what I love. British people, we keep each other down on the ground. And you need that, you know. That's actually one thing I say. There's a huge difference between like American culture and like British culture. Like British culture, obviously, no one likes to let anyone have their minute between. No one likes anyone's head to get too big. But that's real life, you know. That's why I love London.
I think we keep each other two down.
Right.
Like, if you get too big in the UK, we don't like
they're
it.
ready.
But in America, they will still love you.
It's true.
It's great. Now, I've been seeing you doing a lot of stuff in America. Like, what's the goal behind that?
The song's currently like 22 out there on the chart, which is mental.
So sick.
22 over there is better than 1 here.
Of course.
No, it is nuts. And it's one of them things like the album's being received like really beautifully over there.
So good.
This is the thing, when you get that moment, you have to seize it with everything in it. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing some groundwork over there for sure.
So what's the guys like over there then?
Oh God.
What's better, UK guys or US guys?
Well, from my experience.
Because I like Ray. No, don't just walk
No, but
away from
also,
it.
like,
No, you're gonna have her on Shea Bar.
You're so busy. No, I'm always struggling with love life. Is it hard?
My love life is sad.
Pardon?
My love life is just
Sad? Or is it sad?
Yeah, it is. Not sad like pity. It's just sad like barren. Do you know what I mean? And that's okay. Like I know one day I'm gonna meet my husband and we're gonna have a great time in life.
Why do you think it's barren?
It's
First of all, you either get too crazy, like too obsessed, like weird, like this doesn't feel right, or
he was making billions, got on one knee, so I had to get rid of him.
that was crazy energy. That had to be good. That's one of them crazy.
You would have been on one knee as well.
Nah, I'm telling you, money is not everything.
No, listen,
No, that money isn't everything
It's
until
not.
Billy.
No, but I get it. No, I get it because
Yeah, but if you're a psycho, yeah. But you have $1 billion.
If there's any
do you know what I mean?
psycho ladies out there
If
that
a
are
man
worth
comes to you
$1
and is an absolute nutcase,
Never, you can't. It's too much.
but he has $1 billion, he's like, I want you to be mine. What would you say?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
She ain't even answer straight away.
On what level of crazy? I'm
Nah, like controlling, like you can't wear this. Why have you got your nails? Why are you like this? Why?
No.
Do you know what I mean?
$1 billion.
You'll start being a shell, and
I'll let a girl tell me that.
Yeah, because you're
You can't wear this. You can't wear that. It's like,
David, I
we
would
need
love.
a mission washed. I'm Billy.
I would love for someone to tell you not to wear certain things.
Oh, here we go.
Even though today you are looking quite nice, David, I'm liking it. The matching of the trainers with the. This is what we like.
Thank you.
I'm really proud of you.
Yeah, colour coordination. Yeah,
Thank
there's
you.
a through line.
I'm loving it. I'm
trying.
saying. Let's click.
Let's move on because I feel super awkward. But yeah, but so do you think that guys aren't approaching you because they're scared?
I think I'm a very like acquired taste. Like,
No.
yeah, I do. I'm not like the most, like guys either feel like, from my experience, I'll either get someone who really thinks I'm very attractive or is just like, no. I'm telling you, I'm not down the middle at all. But then, you know, I want someone who understands my lifestyle. Music obviously is my baby, it has to come first. And then kind of being okay with my scheduling and stuff, and sometimes guys get mad uncomfortable.
And then because you're in the studio a lot with a lot of like
People,
established men
yeah.
and all those type of, all that happens, now they're insecure about that. They automatically think something must be happening if you're in the studio with this type of person. Why not? And then you have to explain yourself and all these, and it's just a lot.
No, I'm just excited to find someone who doesn't give me no stress and they just give me hugs and back rubs. Do you know what I mean?
Yo.
Oh, yes.
I love a rub feet.
I didn't even realise how much I loved that until I got a massage the other day and I was like,
on the feet.
I'm not on that.
I've been giving myself my own foot massages, you know, that's where we got
It's just the back. You're just on the sofa, put the feet on him, rubbing the feet. It's a beautiful thing.
It really is.
It's a beautiful thing.
No, but you say that, yeah, but you need to try it because obviously the stipulation of feet, I'm not a feet person. I'm kind of like, feet,
Yeah.
But it's so good for you, you know, reflexology or whatever.
No, I'm not talking about, actually, no, I'm not on somebody rubbing my feet either. I'm not on no form of foot.
Boo to you.
I'm telling you, it'll change your life.
You reckon?
Yes. Like joy. Seriously.
What brings you joy?
Oh, food.
I knew he was going to say food.
What type of food?
I'm like a foodie through and through. Like when I travel, I'll go to the best local spot I can find, like not touristy. Like I want to know the hidden gem, and then I'll go somewhere the most bougiest place. You know where they're like the chefs have made basically an album but in food, and you don't get to choose what you eat.
Sick way to describe
That is such a good
Seriously, you don't choose what you eat. They just give it to you, and they're like, "This is the chef's story when he was a child. He did this," and I'm like, "Wow, I love it."
I love the films on Netflix.
Chef's Table.
No, like, you know when the women always fall in love with these chefs and they're always just feeding them.
What, the recent one?
Did you watch Sex Life? Did you watch Sex Life?
I ain't watched that.
Oh my God, that is a lot of things. But basically she fell in love with this chef and then he's like always feeding her and it's just like, oh, that's the dream.
That is the dream, isn't it? We need some chefs.
I literally saw this guy on Instagram that other day and he was like, this Jamaican man, he was like in the kitchen and he had like a little blunt in his mouth and he was chopping up the thing and I was just like,
wow.
oh, wow. Where do we find
Did you slide in?
No, he lives in America. What's happening?
Oh. Question.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a wild...
Go.
Do you think you could be with like...
That industry.
who's not in the industry.
I feel like I would like that.
She also means no money, but she can't say that, so I'll just translate.
No.
Okay.
I feel like
like someone's working 9 to 5.
I feel like
So she said what I said.
No, shut up, Dave.
Get out!
You see these
Put words in my
let me tell you something. 9 to 5ers, ladies. I know you lot. I want the guy. I want the rappers. I want the this. The 9 to 5ers are more secure than some of these.
You know
like,
they are.
listen, and you know what's like. Listen, so don't let the lifestyle, all the smoke fool you. Do you know what I mean? I would like to be with somebody like, but it's. I think they. Like we were saying, I think they find it intimidating as well. They find it, they don't understand it. They don't
and my
get
thing
it.
is also, how do you meet? Where do I go to meet a guy working 9 to 5?
What's that famous people?
RAYE.
Yeah, jump on RAYE.
Nah, can't do
I'm
it.
not gonna lie, I was on there for 10 seconds and I said never again. No.
Why?
Me too. I was on there as well, and I was like, not for me.
Nah,
it just wasn't
why?
happening.
Why?
It wasn't what I was looking for.
But you gotta give it. That's like signing out of life because you met a couple guys that you're not looking for. You gotta give it time.
No, but if I go to a club and I'm like,
I don't know. You guys have an inside joke there. Like you guys, what's wrong with the guys? And they're like,
and then the thing, Lorraine's got like, and then you're paying like how much a month?
Nah.
how much? What?
You have to pay it.
How much is it?
Do you know you have to get accepted as well?
Yeah,
you have to send them your Instagram. Do you know how mad that is?
They have to check if you worth it and that. Is it something crazy?
I think it's like £7 a month. Or
Yeah,
£8 a month.
What? For love? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
My friend found love on there, so.
Yeah, so I know some
But that's what I'm
people
saying.
who
You can't sign
have.
out of life. Imagine if you treated life like that. You know what? I haven't met anybody good, so I'm signing out.
Yeah,
But surely, look, what if you're old fashioned? I want to meet someone like in real life.
Can I just say something about this whole meet somebody in real life nonsense?
Really? Are we not allowed to hope for this anymore?
No, everybody says this, so it's not new. It's actually all right for you too, because you have new experiences and go to new places all the time.
Right.
When 9 to 5 people are saying that they want a real life, that means you have tightened your circumference to your ends with the local man you meet on a day-to-day, and life gets to be like school. We want to leave school so badly to only find out that 9 to 5 is like school. You go work, you go home.
Yeah.
You meet the same people, you go to the same Tesco, you go to the same this, you go to the same that. The love of your life could be in Luxembourg, but you will never know
That's
that
deep, you
because
know?
you're stuck in your ends.
I know.
So and sometimes it's so tight.
Should we
it's
go?
like, so
Let's go. Should we go hunting?
if you're not living there, then it's just so unlikely for you to meet somebody
That's
from there.
so deep,
But
you
if you're on a
know.
dating
Do
app,
you ever think that you could have multiple soulmates?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I
gosh.
literally was thinking this the other day. I was like,
Of course you were thinking it's easy.
Wait,
No, but this is on your point,
No, but
right?
this is the thing,
you
though.
could have a soulmate in Brazil.
The other day,
I just think it's soul compatible.
no,
if you
Ray,
said
the
that
other
instead,
day,
it'd
this
be
is what
more
I
better.
thought. I thought, who sold us the idea that you're only supposed to fall in love once with one person, like for the rest of your life? Like, who told us this? Like, everything else in life, you experience it, you not get bored, but you
Every
outgrow.
day you people find a new way to say you gave up. Just say you gave up, bro.
No,
Just say
but
you
what I'm
gave
saying
up.
is, maybe I'm here and I will experience like 5 types of different love, and that's okay. And you know what?
You just don't
This
know
is
what your
how you
journey's gonna
justify that he
be.
didn't propose.
You're deep, you know.
No, but it's just why every day we come up with a new way to lower us. The bar is in hell right now. Like literally every day we come up with a new way to
Do you know what else is? Do you know what is hell?
Okay.
Being lonely.
If you look realistically, I'm sure I've been in love with more than one person.
yeah, so have I.
Do you know what I mean? And obviously, that's
But
not
one
how I
sticks.
envisioned it.
Yeah.
But
It's not Disney, so you're not going to just be in love with the first person you fall in love with and then stay together for the rest
But
of
it's
your life.
also not Disney. You might not stay together for the rest of your life. You might have 10-year relationship that doesn't work, then you fall in love for another 5 years.
That is why the bar is in
Do you know
hell.
what I mean? That's life. What
life.
it is life.
Okay.
It is just life. Things
is.
like the idea of staying with someone for the rest of your life is really nice, but people change. At the age we are now, it's probably more realistic that you can stay with someone for a longer time. But when I meet people that have been with someone from the age of like 17
That's
and they're
incredible.
like 30 and then they go different
Right,
ways, I'm
right.
like, of course, because who you was at 17 is not who you are. That's 2 different people
Yeah.
now. And if you manage to grow together, that is beautiful. But if you
That's what I
don't,
was just about to say.
it doesn't
I find
thing.
it so inconceivable to grow together with somebody for 20, 30 years to the point where you two's lives is intertwined in such mad ways and you just say, yeah, I'm off. That to me is just crazy.
Right.
And I think that only happens when at some point you just start growing.
yeah, apart. Or when love dies.
And love dies a lot. And on that note,
I think love dies and then you resurrect it.
Yeah, you can, but that takes two people.
Yeah.
Oh, it does. It's like the Disneyfication of everything. We have lost the idea of
that should be a term. Disneyfication.
The working on a relationship, because the second you start to work on a relationship these days, people feel like it's over.
Yeah.
Counselling, that means outing flat.
Well, that's because we've been also sold a weird.
Wait, what are we doing today?
I love this.
I think
this has been my favorite.
Oh yeah, see,
yeah.
I always say that I blame Disney for my high expectation of men and love, to be fair, because I think that as women, young girls, we watched all these things of like the man's gonna come and save you, this guy's gonna come along, the first guy. We've romanticized love so much. It is so weird. And I just think that love is hard sometimes, and people need to understand that it's not what everyone thinks it is.
And if a man, like, if you're talking about the Disneyfication of things, it's like falling in love with somebody straight away and then just going after them. It makes people feel in real life like somebody should just love them off rip without even knowing who you are. Because some girls are baffled when man fall off. No man is really trying to tell a girl, yo, I was linking you, but then you got mad boring, so I locked you off. And I'm sure it happens for girls as well when you're talking to somebody.
And you're just like, this ain't it.
At first you was bants, but then you said the joke 14 times.
Oh.
Do you get what I'm saying? And now I'm done. You can't really say that, but realistically, that's how real life is.
Yeah,
now,
that's true.
Back to the music. Last question.
Yeah, sorry.
Where do you think you'll go from here?
I'm just going to do these shows this year, and I'm just excited to make more music. I've been in the studio for a long time, so I'm very excited to get back.
That's weird, man. For somebody to say they haven't been in the studio for ages, but they're pushing music right now.
But that's what I mean. That's how
I had to hand in my album 6 months before it come out because of vinyls.
Yeah. Then the place where you was is not the place where you are now, and then you got to sing those, and then it is
interesting. Yeah,
like kind of what we do as well. It's like you live the moment almost like 3 times, if that makes sense. You know you're about to film something, so you get excited about that process. Yeah. Then you go and do it. Yeah. Then you release. Then you release. And so you have 3 different experience of joy, whatever you're feeling. And it's just such a weird concept.
It is interesting.
Sorry, but I've got 2 more questions. Yeah. I just remember 2 more questions that I need to ask.
Make it quick.
Yes, I will. Number 1 question, what's your favorite version of escapism?
The one I put on my album. Yeah.
All right, okay, cool. Second question is, I like to ask an artist how they feel about a track that I love from them. I love Check.
Oh,
I
that's
adore
nice.
Check. Like, that's one of my, I honestly listen to that song pretty much every day.
Really?
Yes.
Still?
I love that tune. I play a song till it dies. It hasn't died yet though. You know when Justin Bieber Peaches came out,
oh my God, he was
I would
that.
never stop liking this. I killed it, murdered it then. But yes, how do you feel about that track?
Do you know how that song even come about? It was so random. Like, it was an accident. Like, I went to the studio on that day. When I say studio, it was like someone's bedroom. I was like the only girl. It was like the hottest day of the year. It was like some tiny room. I laid down literally 2 freestyles and then I left. I didn't know who Kojo or Bane was at the time.
That's mad.
And I was both in the room.
So mad.
I didn't even know. There was so many guys in that room. It was like the Skepta song. There was literally 2, 3, 4, 5 months later, my sister's like, there's this song they're playing it at school, Black 9, Kojo Fun's Black 9. I'm like, she's like, it's your voice on it, I'm like, what do you mean? Kids have been sending it around like via MP3, via text message to each other. And I'm listening and I'm like, that's my freestyle with no words, like some random dusty take that I done that they just put there, they just cut it, and then Kojo done a whole verse after it,
Banger.
And it leaked, so then we finished it properly.
Banger.
Mad though.
Good question, David.
Thank you. Make some noise for RAYE!
Thank you for having me.
Hey.
That's a lovely conversation.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, me too.
So before we go, be sure to check out all the new releases this week across the +44 playlist on Amazon Music.
As well as the main +44 playlist, we also have the R&B playlist, the rap playlist, and the Afro playlist.
And make sure you follow us on Instagram at +44UK, where you can see snippets of this podcast, exclusive content, and stay up to date with all new music releases.
You have been listening to the +44 podcast from Wondery with me, Sideman.
And me, Zeze Millz.
Listen to the +44 podcast wherever you get your podcasts, or listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. The +44 podcast is produced by So Incredible with Wondery, audio engineered by Nathan Cooper, filmed and edited by Marcus Accent, photography by Naomi Koji Payton. The podcast is filmed at Fiction Studios and on location at Amazon Music Studios. The executive producer for So Incredible was Harry Anthony. The executive producers for Wondery and Amazon Music were Delisa James, Estelle Doyle, Richard Knight, Jessica Radburn, and Marshall Louis. Thanks to RAYE for joining us this week, and thanks to you for listening. Listen to the +44 podcast wherever you get your podcasts,
or listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music.